Hi everyone, my name is Monster. I'm from Campicoa, and we are doing a video today about different yoga poses that we've created based on the shapes of constellations in the night sky. So while we're doing these yoga poses, I want you to focus on taking some deep breaths. You can go as slow as you want to. If you need to pause the video at any time, feel free to do that. And I'll also give you some modifications you can do for the poses to match your ability. So a lot of people like to do yoga in the morning to get themselves ready, help themselves focus for the day. I think these poses are also really fun to do at nighttime when you're outside and you can be under the stars. But really, you can do yoga at any time during the day. So the poses that we're going to do are based on the 5 constellations that you can see year-round in the night sky. Those constellations are Cassiopeia, Cepheus, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, and Draco. So the first one we're going to start with is Cepheus. Cepheus was a king. This is what his constellation looks like. He was the king married to Cassiopeia, the other constellation. So a lot of people see different shapes in the stars when they look at constellations. This one is supposed to be Cepheus on his throne, but I really just see it as a house, and that's how I remember to look for it in the sky. So the way we're going to make that pose is we're going to stand with our feet a little bit apart and raise our arms up to make that triangle. This is a really good warm-up pose because you can use it to stretch. You can lean back. You can stretch to the side. Or you could just take some deep breaths and get focused. So the next pose we're going to do is Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia was a queen. She was known for being very vain and obsessed with the way she looked. So the constellation is supposed to show Cassiopeia standing with one arm fixing her hair and the other arm looking at a mirror. I really see it as an M or a W. It can look like different things based on where it is in the sky. But we're going to do the M pose for Monster. So you're going to stand with your feet a little bit wider than they were for Cepheus. You take your arms and bend down and try to touch the floor. If you need to, you can make your stance a little bit wider to help you touch the floor, or you could place a block or a book or something on the ground that you can lean on too. So we're going to hold this pose for a few breaths. Good. The next poses we're going to do are for Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. These constellations are also known as the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. The stars that make up the Dipper shape, here and here, are the brightest stars in the constellation. So they're the ones we see the easiest. But there are also other stars in the constellation that make it look like a bear. And Ursa means bear. So these constellations are the Big Bear and the Little Bear. To make that pose, we're going to get down, we're going to go on our hands and knees, and we saw that those bears had big long tails. They were also the handles on the dipper that you see. So we're going to use one of our legs to look like the tail. We're going to extend our leg. You can focus on balancing and breathing. And then whatever we do in yoga on one side of our body, we want to do that on the other side too to keep us balanced. So we're going to lift our other leg up now. Okay, so the next constellation we're going to do is Draco. And this pose is going to be a bit of an ab exercise, so you have to focus on really engaging and tightening your core when you do it, but you want to make sure to still breathe. This is what the constellation Draco looks like. Draco means dragon, so this is the dragon's head, and he's kind of slithering through the night sky, and this is his tail up here. So the way we're going to show that is we're going to sit down, and our feet are going to be the head, and our arms are going to be the tail. So from the side, we're going to have the head down, we're going to take our tail up, and then we're going to bend back as far as you're comfortable to, and see how long you can hold it. Make sure that you're breathing through this pose. So you can hold that pose for as long as you can. As you work on this for different days, you can try to hold it for a little bit longer. You can bend as far back as you want to or need to. And I also find with this pose, for me, it's a little easier if my legs are actually off the ground a little bit. So you can try that modification too. So those are all the constellations that we can see year-round, but I want to show you one more constellation that's pretty popular that you see during the winter. This constellation is Orion. He is a hunter. So you can see he's holding his shield with one hand and his sword in the other hand. To do this pose, we're going to start in a regular yoga pose called Warrior One. So to do that, we're going to lunge with our front foot and have our back foot facing out. And we're going to have our arms straight up. So this is the warrior pose. And then to make it look like Orion, we can just put one arm out in front of us like we're holding our shield, and this arm is holding the sword. So hold this position. You can lunge even farther. You can lunge a little less, and you can move your legs farther apart or closer together too. Hold this position and breathe through it. And then make sure you do the other side too. Okay, so those were all the constellation poses I wanted to show you. If you can think of any others though, we would love to see them in the comments, and let us know what your favorite pose is too. I hope you enjoyed exercising with me. Bye.